What's up, LEGO builders, and to my fellow LEGO Star Wars enthusiasts, I'm JesBricks, and today is a pretty special day for me, at least, since we are going to be getting my childhood dream LEGO Star Wars set, which is the Death Star, none other than the play-scale version of the Death Star, which there are two versions of, with the first one being released back in 2008 and the second one back in 2016. It's currently early in the morning here in the Philippines, around 7 a.m. and I am currently planning on how to get it. Before, when I was a kid, me and my father most of the time will go to a LEGO store back in Athens, Greece, just to, stare at the beauty of this set far away and admire the set as a whole. Since we don't really have the money to buy it back then, so we only stare at it at stores. Also, guys, my father recently just passed away, so I guess he will be really proud. I also even made a space for it on my shelf. Back there, if you can see, there's a pretty big space over there reserved for the Death Star. I'm not quite sure if it will fit there because I haven't really owned this set ever. If you guys like this format of content, please let me know down in the comment section below. And what else to say? Let's go get moving, since the drive is a couple of hours away and that will take a while. And guys, we are back home. As you can see, here is the Death Star right over there. I can't believe my eyeballs that this set is finally in my LEGO Star Wars collection. So I can't fathom on how excited, happy, mixed emotions I feel right now, because this is my dream LEGO Star Wars set. As I said earlier, all of the little rooms you can play, all of the minifigures you can put inside. So it's a pretty big set, even for me as an adult right now. Even for anyone, I think it's still one of the largest LEGO Star Wars set ever produced, period. So this LEGO Star Wars set right here is one of the largest of its kind. It has a lot of play features, I think around 20 play features, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe in the range of 16 to 20 play features, which is still a lot even to this day, because with all of the recent LEGO Star Wars set being shrinked down, I believe people are more keen to going back in the older sets like I do, because I feel like all of the stuff released from 2010 to 2020, I think, was peak, one of the best LEGO Star Wars runs ever, because of all of the high quality LEGO Star Wars minifigures, all of the high quality sets in general, and also they were not really shrinking down sets by too much back in the day like they do now. Enough talking, let's now get into the Death Star. As you can guys see, this is a pretty big set. I don't think that my camera is doing it justice, but it's really a big set. If you haven't seen this set in person before, just on videos, you can't really comprehend how large this set really is. So as you can see, I got it with an acrylic display case, which the previous owner of this Death Star was very kind for him to just give it to me. Thank you, sir, for doing that. And I might display this Death Star on that acrylic case in the future, but for now, we will just going to display it in the shelf as is, because I don't really have that much luxury of space remaining on my LEGO Star Wars collection. But we will do an expansion in the future to hold all of the new LEGO Star Wars sets that are about to come out. Now moving into the Death Star, this is quite a lot to take in, so I already preloaded the minifigures that the seller gave to me. The specific Death Star build is from the UCS Death Star of 2016, which I'll be putting here in the screen for you guys, but the minifigures are from 2008, which I'm pretty okay with. I don't really mind that much because they are about the same in my opinion, just a little bit updated and better with the prints and general appearance for the 2016 version. Let's start the Death Star tour by showing you the bottom bit of the Death Star build, which is pretty much composed of this empty, storage bins and whatnot down there. Few details like gas cylinders, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really here in the bottom of the Death Star. Moving on the second level of the Death Star, we see this Death Star cannon, which is a pretty good build in my opinion. This can be released as its standalone set and people won't notice it, to be honest, because it's just that good. Then here in the back wall, there is your spare spring-loaded missile that you can reload into the cannon whenever you feel like it and keep blasting those X-Wings. And in the next room, we got this cargo bay where you can use this arm to, load boxes into the elevator shaft, as you can see here, which is a functioning elevator. Pretty good feature. You can use the droid arm, to imaginary load boxes into the elevator shaft, going up towards the main hangar portion of the build. Just for imaginative play, it's a pretty good feature for kids. Now moving into the back portion of the droid arms, we got some weapon storage racks where you can place your extra blasters and thermal detonators if you have some. Next up, guys, we got the room where Luke and Leia swung across the Death Star with the stormtrooper trailing behind them, firing at them, and it's a pretty iconic scene, you guys. So there is that, well represented in this Death Star. Moving along, we got this specific section where Obi-Wan turned off some Death Star beams, as we see in the movie A New Hope. So there is that room. And lastly, we have the iconic trash compactor, where all of the trash in the Death Star goes into, and then there is a Dianaga creature lurking below it, which is also represented here, and it's a pretty iconic section of the Death Star. Additionally, you can also squeeze the minifigures. If you decided to drop somebody in there, you can just press this button and squeeze them up into pieces. This is a pretty good play feature. Moving up to the third level of the Death Star, where we have Princess Leia's cell block right here. You can place Princess Leia inside and then put torture droid, medical droid. I don't really remember what's it called in the movies, so you can just place it in there, place Princess Leia in there, pretending the droid to torture Princess Leia, make her talk, and then Vader oversee the procedures. You can also open the door using this knob right here, so you can open it. So it's a pretty good play feature. Now let's close it up, put the jail cell back, and then let's move on. Here in the action happening in the front, where Han, Luke, and Chewbacca attempts to free Princess Leia from her cell and cause some chaos, blasting people. Here in the back portion of it, there's a knob. There's another knob where you can open, which I don't think that you can see clearly because everything is black. You can open it and then you can throw somebody inside, as you can see here, and then they'll end up here in the trash compactor itself. So it's a pretty good play feature then, it's a pretty good play feature now, so it's pretty much perfect. Moving on, we got the main Death Star super laser, if you might call it that. Here you get some control panels. I even added an Imperial crew member climbing towards a ladder to control and man the operations above. As you can see, there are also control panels there. And then here in the other side, we can see a few seats where you can also place some Imperial officers to man and control the main super laser of the Death Star. And then also above in the control panel, we have this knob where you can turn and the blast door will open, like we see in the movies. Although it's not accurate where it's placed, it doesn't really bothers, you know, people, because it's really meant for play and it's pretty good at doing that. Opening the blast doors reveals the hangar bay section of the Death Star, where the miniature Vader Psi Advance is sitting alongside Han C-3PO, and also R2-D2 are attempting to, you know, escape. But let's imagine that the Millennium Falcon is here instead, because in the movie Vader Psi Advance is not here. But you know, for imaginary play, I think this really delivers. So in the last section of the third level of the Death Star, we got the Emperor's Throne Room. So what is a Death Star build without the Emperor's Throne Room itself? Here we can see the ledge that Vader threw his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, as we can see in the movies. Then you can, you know, imagine it falling down like this. Then Vader might end up injuring himself, so you can do a lot of imaginary play here. We got Emperor Palpatine with his Force Lightning electrocuting Luke Skywalker, as we see in the movies, and we got Vader himself staring at the whole entire procedure, and of course the Emperor's Royal Guards over there in the back, you know, doing their thing, but it's not accurate in the movies anyway. So this is all for imaginary play. And then here in the top section of the throne room, we got the throne itself, with a huge window overseeing the hangar here in the other side. So everything is really connected in this Death Star build, which I pretty much love. Everything is connected. There is an action happening everywhere in this build. So that is one thing that I pretty much admire in this LEGO Star Wars Death Star. Next up, moving on the final level of the Death Star, which is the top level, we have the droid maintenance bay right here, where we have an Imperial protocol droid being repaired, and also an extra helmet storage rack over here, and also we got an Imperial Astromech security droid overseeing the tools that the room has. And also we got a small bed right here where you can lay down more protocol droids if you have some more laying around your house, so you can put them there. And also here we got a basin where you can fill it with, you know, droid junk, spare parts filled out, as you can see. And also lurking beneath this droid maintenance bay, we have a lever controlling the rack where Vader's Psi Advance is, so you can move it from side to side, from left to right. That is basically it. Additionally guys, here in the droid maintenance bay, we also have this knob right here where you can spin it and it controls the main elevator of the Death Star, which, just trust me guys, it goes through the entire Death Star itself. So that is a pretty neat thing to have, a functioning elevator where you can put, you know, a lot of minifigures right there and do a lot of imaginary play. So that is awesome to have. And then we also have this small mouse droid door where you can use it for the mouse droid to go into the next room, which is the Death Star's turbo laser. So we have a unified turbo laser feature right here where you can just twist this lever and then both of the turbo lasers will spin simultaneously. Then also you can use the knob here on the side to lower its elevation up and down, and you can also use your hands if you prefer to do it that way, as you can see there. Next, we have Grand Moff Tarkin's meeting room, where we can see Vader choke an officer during their meeting in A New Hope. You know, they're talking about what to do with the Rebel Alliance and stuff. Also here on the side, we got some canisters represented for both sides. We got amazing wall fixtures, lighting fixtures right there, and then you can use the main table as a storage bin if you have some minifigure accessories laying around your house. You can put all of them there. And of course, with this being a conference room, we have a lot of chairs to fill up with admirals, high-ranking Imperial officers. So guys, that pretty much wraps up this Death Star video. So as you can see guys, it's a pretty large build with a ton of play feature that you can enjoy. Even if you're an adult, you will definitely enjoy, and I will definitely not play with this after this video is done. So there's a lot to do with this set. Don't let other people tell you otherwise, because the only negative thing I'm seeing about this Death Star is that there's a lot of studs. I know that. In this modern age and era of LEGO Star Wars. Everything has been tiled off. That studs to tile ratio is pretty high, but I think that's it. That's the only thing missing in this Death Star, I think, is just tiles. So I might end up tiling this whole Death Star in a future JesBricks video, so please subscribe and stay tuned for that. That is a pretty much guarantee. Just a couple of tiles, modernizing a bit, a few sections, like putting something here in the bottom section of the Death Star where there's basically nothing. I suppose it's still part of the play because you can lower down the elevator shaft up to this level, which you can do, and it's nice and all. And I think just adding some stuff here in the bottom, tiling it off, will help the Death Star go a long way. And I think that's it, you guys. If you guys enjoyed this vlog and you want more content like it here in the channel, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, since we got a lot more LEGO Star Wars content just like this one coming soon. And guys, always stay creative and peace out.